little lift when the sun comes up.
Well, the fog is now lifted enough for us to leave and head down the coast of Portugal. So if the fog had persisted, would we have left? Probably not. Just another risk that we can avoid. If the fog had come while we were at sea, well, we would have been able to rely on the old method of dead reckoning or our modern system of GPS, or global positioning. It's a satellite system. It was initiated in 1973 and has kind of infiltrated itself into almost all our systems on board. We put up the main in the hopes of some wind later.
Oh, can't see it. Drop down under the sail. There's the corner before we go around into Peniche.
We're going to port. We're going to go to Peniche tonight. It's a bit rocky rolly off the headland here. He thinks it's looking like a laughing chicken or our island's further offshore here as well, because of between them and the headland. Well, this looks like the Tobermory of Peniche. All multicoloured houses. When we got moored, we spied this rather strange creature.
You can see us on the end of the pontoon down there. There's a little garrisony thing there. And you turn around this way and there's a little castle. Trying to find a restaurant at the moment, apparently called Sardines. So we're heading the right direction. Oh, it's in there. Oh, that looks good.
Safe arrivals, drink, and Mary gets photobombed before dinner. Lovely local fish restaurant, highly recommended, with an eclectic collection of plates.
Well, the pontoons aren't the best. This lot make a heck of a racket when you walk up and down them, which is a bit bouncy when the fishing boats go in and out, but hasn't kept me awake. Well, that's us leaving Peniche. The sailboat coming out. That's a fishing boat. So where are we off to today, Skip?
We're going a little bit further south to a place called, remind me?
Cascais.
Cascais, yeah.
Cascais.
It's about 40 miles. So we haven't got much wind this morning, but there is supposed to be 10 to 12 knots of wind at some point today from some direction. It's not clear where that's coming from.
We're bimbling along the coast of Portugal. Got a lovely sky today. We have had rain and it's not been very warm. And we're heading around the corner to Cascais.
Looks like there's some dinghy sailing going on in the bay, and to come around the end of the harbour, and we're going to go to the fuel dock first of all and then go into the marina. This is what we're paying for. This is our pontoon. It's like a landing strip in the airport.
Thought we'd come and have a look at this today.
That's the other side of it. It's like a knife edge. I didn't want you to get in there. So imagine trying to scale something like this and then have somebody at the top there that could drop things on you. It's quite a tall wall. All designed to stop you getting in. The courtyard and everything's been turned into flats and galleries and art sculptures and things. So we could do with a pair of binos like this on the boat, really big ones. I wonder if you can see anything through it. Yeah, you can.
Entranceways for coming in.
Beautiful glazed panels seem to be a feature of lots of the older buildings. They're beautifully painted. They're all individual. They're not reproduced or multiple copies of them. I think they're all individual. And they're on all corners of this building.
don't know what this is. It's
I think so, isn't it? Palace.
pretty spectacular. And the tide comes right up in there. This rain makes it look as though it's undulating. It's not actually, it's just the way it's done. She's obviously keeping a lookout on the ships.
Merry-go-round, but not working at the moment. I think it's just about to start.
Walking in here and we've just found the fish market.
We're getting some prawns and some sea bass.
No, I do.
So we're getting our sea bass cleaned up. What do you think of the cafe life then?
I love it.
It's quite nice being out in the warm air, having your lunch. And I see you restocking the herb garden.
Yep.
We've got a couple of new plants to go in there because there's a couple that are looking a bit worse for wear, aren't they? Now he's taking us out of Cascades. Nice marina, lots of nice boats. The oyster here, she's Hilo, the sun, very nice. She's for charter if you want, £10,000 will get you a go on that. And tucked in the corner here is a racing boat, the Ocean Race. She's a lovely boat, how about that? Very slick. The marina offices, you tie up here to registering, and then that's the fuel berth there. As we leave Cascades on another light wind day, logbook, open, tick. We switch on the chart plotter and begin to talk to satellites. Yes, our boat talks to satellites all the time. We have 2 chart plotters, we have the Iridium Go, we have 2 EPIRBs, 2 AIS systems, we have Starlink, we have our iPhones, 2 of those, 2 iPads, our iMac and our MacBook Pro, and the Victron servo system. Our single sideband radio has a GPS puck on it, and we also have a handheld GPS radio in case we ditch. All the apps we use for weather, cruisers forums, marine traffic, news, email, etc. Those using GPS information to position us use a minimum of 3 satellites to fix our position. So at a maximum, if we had everything switched on, we might be using 40 GPS conversations with satellites, plus all the data for the apps, social media, news, emails, etc. What a busy boat we live on, and we pretty much take it for granted that it's accurate, instantaneous, and available 24/7 a week.
Pretty impressive rocks again. There's lots of windsurfers and whatever come down here. There's St Vincent's Lighthouse on the end. Lovely colour rock formation, a bit like the Isle of Wight. Big cave there, huge cave. And up to St Vincent's. Oh, lots of people up there. There's one for Peter. He apparently came round here on one of his tankers. Knew he had to look up to St Vincent.
Well, we decided to go to Lagos in the end. This is kind of sunset for us. We just made it in time. The anchorages we tried when we came around the corner wasn't really tenable. We couldn't get a good hold, rocky bottom ground. 2 or 3 boats were in there, but very rocky and rolly. Didn't really feel very comfortable. So we decided to bail out, and it was another 15 miles to get to Lagos. And we can get into a marina so no brainer really. Well, we're heading into Lagos, which is just over there. The sun has literally gone down just behind the cliff. We've got a big old rocky swell. It's a different swell than the one we had coming down the coast of Portugal. When we turned the corner, there were kind of two swells. One was from the northwest and one from the southeast, and they were rocking against each other. The southeast swell is coming from the entrance to the Mediterranean through the Straits of Gibraltar. Quite a lot of wind and currents come through there, and that's what drives a big swell. Short, probably 5 seconds between peaks, and about 1 metre to 1.5 metres height. Not very comfortable when they were conflicting each other.
So last night, or just before it got dark, I managed to slot ourselves into there. I'm really chuffed with myself actually. I got in there without hitting either of them. Well, this is the marina that we hope to get into today. It's pretty full. There are also spaces along that side pontoon, so hopefully maybe we'll get along there. But we have to wait for the bridge. We have to get the bridge to open so we can go through. You can see the sun's starting to go down. I don't know whether that's the walled old town or not. This looks like the old harbour.
Na, 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 na. Are you ready? Sing it back to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Na 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 na. Cause his arms are sweaty, his weak arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Bombs are getting, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting when he goes down. The whole crowd goes for.
This is where we came in last night. There's only one boat anchored out there tonight. There was at least a dozen rocking and rolling last night.
It's heading out of the channel at Lagos. Mary's on the helm today. It's a light day I think today. Lots of boats here in the channel, fishermen, tour boats. There's a second basin in here which seems to be for local boats, mostly fishermen. They're all anchored rather than berthed. It seems a bit of a shame that they haven't got pontoons and things in there. And then beyond all this is what looks like a good spot to haul out and do work for over winter. So Mary's on the helm today, as I said. What's happening today, Skipper?
Well, we're heading to Faro. And
Right.
apparently this next stretch of coast is horrendous for fishing nets.
Okay, so we'll be on fishing pot alert most of the day. It's about
We're going to have to go out with, so just outside the net, so we might be, don't think we'll meet any orcas, at least I hope not, but
anyway,
won't be in as shallow as we normally are.
about 40 miles to go today, so not a heavy day today. So that's us off again in the morning, heading down the coast. A bit more wind today. So where's satellite comms going in the next few years? Well, Iridium is currently the only system we can take on a life raft, but Starlink won't be long before it talks to mobile phones, so that will probably supersede Iridium. We do have a drone on board, and once we're able, we'll do some footage. Maybe our compass will be electronic, who knows. We track our baggage using these air tags and our dinghy, yacht, outboard, etc. You can track fridge, battery and even room temperatures on your boat. Maybe an anchor tracker, who knows, to track for dragging. I think it will only get more complex. More useful, well, maybe. Spectacular headland here, the rock strata. Track for the day, once again staying inshore to avoid orca. Nice looking ketch here, and what might be a military support vessel, I think. kit seems to have all the crew with white colours. So we've got a Portuguese warship sitting out there. He's going to be doing some live firing, I think. And here's the focus of all the military firing exercises.
Oh, we just got into Simbra. Simbra. Looks a bit fishy, but we've decided to anchor out here. Gnarly. Feet under us at the moment. It's thrown around everywhere now. Yee, look at this lot. Tide dripping out of here at the moment. A little bit. It's going every which way. Oh my god. About 8 knots coming in here at the moment. No, we're not. We're doing 2.7, but we're doing 7.8 over the through the water. The tide's really ripping out of here. This is the other side of us. See it all coming in, rushing out behind us. Still only doing 3.3 through the water, or over the ground, should I say.
Nice place, and for the price of one lighthouse you actually get 2. I think that one may actually be a sector light. This island apparently there's no services to it, no electricity, no water, no gas. So they're self-sufficient on the island, which is great. Looks like a nice little place to stay. Quite a good current coming out through the narrow entrance. We certainly struggled coming in. We're probably doing current, cut our speed from 8 knots down to about 4, 3.5 at times, and with there being a swell outside, it was picking up our stern and wanting to turn us, so it was a bit awkward. A lot of turning on the steering wheel to keep us in a straight line.
Nice sunset tonight. There's 5 of us in here. 3 cats, 2 monohulls. There's the moon up there. That's the entrance we came in.
Rolly coming out of here. There's still a big swell running from the winds last night. Here we go, there's another one coming. Going to be rolling sideways, I think, for a bit. So we get clear of the entrance, might be flatten off a bit. Bouncing.
Oh, is this tonight's sunset as we go into Chipona, or however you want to say it. Something on there. That's the little gap we have to go through, and it's not very deep. There's actually a bar across it. Not quite sure when it was last dredged, but we did touch bottom. We're going to try and get out as soon as we can, hopefully. Dun, dun. That's the office up there where Paul should be in at the moment, paying. Not a terribly big marina. It was fine for last night. And hopefully we'll go on to, well, we can't get as far as Barbate today, but Cabo Roche we might get into. But I think it's going to be similar to here with not a lot of water.
So that's us leaving Chiphol Wana. A nice little place actually. We didn't get to see very much, but marina was okay. A bit shallow on the entrance at low tide, so that's pinned us to later in the morning. But other than that, yeah, it was a nice place. So we have a buddy boat today, Jamboree. She was in the harbour when we went in, and turns out they belong to the Royal Yorkshire Yacht Club in Bridlington. So we had a chat with them. So they're heading south, heading into the Med, I think. So yeah, a nice catamaran. Mary's not hanging on for dear grim death. Holding the cover from flapping about at the moment. But we are getting some fairly big heavy seas around the corner, wind against tide, and yeah, we've even had weather in the cockpit, so we've had to roll up the cushions here as the weather is coming in over the windward rail. Yeah, it's spicy.
4.3 miles left.
4.3 miles left, and we're definitely going into the marina, because we were going to anchor off here, but I don't think so, not in this sort of swell. Well, you may just be able to see land in the distance. That is North Africa. This is where we're heading tonight. That is Barbate, well known as the tuna capital of the Mediterranean, apparently. That's where all your tins of tuna come from. Barbate has a protected feline colony, which is where cats are looked after and fed by local volunteers. So, skipper of the day, what are we doing today?
We are hopefully going round to Gib, because tomorrow the winds are horrendous.
So where are we leaving?
So we've just left Barbate.
Yeah, so Barbate's behind us. That's quite a nice marina.
It was actually a very nice marina.
Fantastic facilities.
Then we were going to go to Tarifa, but if we keep going and get into Gib, I think we'll be better off.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to anchor and shelter at the back of the island at Tarifa, but it's going to be quite breezy, so we'll just have to wait and see. Not only do we have strong headwinds, called locally the Levant, but also a complex tide pattern. We used a tide tech model to predict likely tide flows when we passed through the straits. A breeze this morning. Got probably 26, 27 knots. Mary's hanging onto the tiller, getting damp. So it's a bit of a reach at the moment. When we get around this corner, we're going to have to harden up again. We're hoping it was going to be a reach all the way along. We've gone from what, 30 knots to 6 knots in
it's ridiculous,
5 minutes.
In about 20 minutes. Yeah.
So I think all the wind was blowing through that gap in the hills, or over the top or something.
We're going to get another big lot up here, a bit further up,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, well, we can deploy the Jenny if we get the right sort of wind direction.
We're safely tucked in under the Rock of Gibraltar on the Spanish side.
Just in time to pick up extra crew and maybe visit the famous rock and its apes before we set sail again from the Straits of Gibraltar and down to the Canary Isles.
It's amazing how our electronics talk to our satellites all the time while we're sailing. It's a far cry from the old sextants, knot lines and lead lines.
So until next time, when we leave on another offshore passage of this time 650 miles, we'll say
Fair winds and following seas. Bye.